You can see when it's recording. It's recording now. All right, 7-1 is all about ratios and proportions. Okay, so we're going to write ratios. We're going to write and solve proportions. You can't solve a ratio, but you can tell if two ratios are equal. Now we're down to 8. So a ratio is a comparison of two quantities using fractions. Okay? It's a comparison of two quantities using fractions. There's 3 ways to express it, though, and they all mean the same thing. We can express it like, how many girls are in here today? 4 girls, excluding me. And how many boys? 6? We have 6. We have 6. All right, so here we go. These all mean the same thing. So we can write it as 4, a colon and a 6. We can write it 4 divided by 6, or 4, and actually use the word 2, 6. Okay. Thing here, this is not good. Why would this not be good based upon that last line in this page? What's it say? Express in simplest form. So we need to reduce it. So 4 to 6, that would be a 2 to 3. Or 2 divided by 3. Or 2, 2, 3. Okay? Make sure they're reduced. You guys know how to reduce fractions in your calculators? So in the TIs, go 4 divided by 3 in your calculator, and then you hit the math button and the frac button, and it reduces it for you. So do 4 divided by 6, hit your math button, and the first one is frac, and then hit enter. It reduces it. Yep. So your calculators reduce your fractions for you. I think almost all of them that are more advanced calculators will do that. So, all right, so here we go. Pay attention to what is asking you for a ratio, and make sure you pay attention to the order. The order is going to be very important here, like tomorrow and the next day. I don't think so much today on the homework, but it will come up. So the number of students who participate in a sport at a central high school is 520. So that's total number of students that participate in a sport. And the total number of students in the school is 1850. What is the athlete to student ratio to the nearest tenth? So which one goes first? So that's 520 over 1850. And this, they wanted you, whenever they say like to the nearest tenth, they want you to leave it as a decimal. So what would that decimal be? 1850. Yeah. So what is it as a decimal? Point.
But you have to refer.
Yeah. Yeah. Because this one's asking for the nearest tenth, we put it as a decimal. But otherwise, it would have been 52 over 185 as a reduced fraction. But this one, 0.3 is what we want. Okay? You guys listening? All right. The country with the longest school year is China with 251 days. Find the ratio of school days to total days in a year for China to the nearest tenth. That would be bad. So what do we do? Yep, 251. Because it's school days to total days. And if it wanted it to the nearest tenth, we need to make sure we use our calculator. 0.7. So 70% of their year is school. That's a lot.
That clock restarts every new page of code.
Yes. We're on a page. So then an extended ratio. I was farther ahead. And this tablet's really small. I'm going to zoom in, and then I'm going to zoom it back out. And extended ratio is used to compare 3 or more quantities. Okay, so we don't have to set it at just 2. We can have 3 or more. This is actually pretty common. So the ratio of the measures of the angles is 5 to 12 to 13. 5 to 12 to 13. Find the measure of the angles. So, and this is in a triangle. So how many degrees are in a triangle? The angles? 180. So each of these you just put an x on. So 5x plus 12x plus 13x. You solve for x, and you get your scale factor. So what's 5 plus 12 plus 13? I don't think it's 30, but you're close. Uh-huh. Oh no, you're right. I forgot to add that. It is 30. What's 180 divided by 30? So that's what we have to scale it up by. Now we don't want to find all the angle measures, so we'll just multiply all of these by 6. So what's 5 times 6? What's 12 times 6? And then what's 6 times 13? 78. So those are your 3 angles. So that's how you would do it to scale it up. Okay. You want to do one more of those? Let's do one more. The ratio of the angles in triangle ABC is 3, 5, 7. So how am I going to set this one up? That's right. 3x plus 5x plus 7x equals how many degrees in a triangle? Put it down here. 3 plus 5 plus 7?
15. I don't know, man. Ask yourself your math. That's true.
So 180 divided by 15?
Oh, this gets me.
What's 180 divided by 15? 12?
12. Wow.
But I need the angle measures. So what's 3 times 12?
36.
What's 5 times 12?
60.
And then what's 7 times 12? 84. Those are my 3 angle measures.
I don't know, 12.
All right, so with that being said, let's get into a lot of what you're going to be doing today. All right, so right here, we have an equation. Stop.
That's what I said. Just wasn't Spanish.
Stating that 2 ratios are equal or is called a proportion. Proportion. Shh, guys. An equation stating that 2 ratios are equal is called a proportion. I can't get this straight. All right, look. So if I'm going to do this, this is a proportion. So this is a proportion right here. I have 2 ratios, they're set equal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross multiply on these. So I cross multiply, and I would get AD, so that's A times D, that's called the extremes, and then BC, that's called the means. And you set those equal to each other and solve. So AD is equal to BC, and I would solve that. So right here, this first one. I'm going to kind of give you some tricks about this. How would I solve this problem right here?
Cross multiply.
So what 2 am I going to multiply?
6y.
18.09.
Times 9. Yeah. So what's 18.2 times 9? You guys got a calculator? What's 18.2 times 9?
163.8.
163.8? Is that right? And then 6y. I need to divide by the 6 to solve for y. So take 163.8 and divide it by 6. What do we get?
6.
Yeah, divide it by 6.
27.3.
Say that one more time.
27.3.
27.3. Okay, check it out. I'm going to show you this. What happens right here is you're going to always multiply the two numbers together. Okay? And then you'll divide by the number by itself. It's a quick way. The two numbers are across from each other diagonally. You multiply them. And then you divide by the number across from the variable. So right here, looking at this one. Do you have, hey listen, stop. Do you have two numbers across from each other?
Yes.
What two numbers are across from each other? Turn around for it. Grant.
It's 108.
So I want you to multiply 3 and a negative 26.
Negative 78.
And what number is by itself?
6.
So divide by 6. What do you get?
Negative 13.
Negative 13 is equal to whatever's up here. 4x minus 5. Now finish solving. We're going to add the 5. That's a negative 8. 4x, divide by 4. Negative 2. You're going to have some of these at the end of the first IXL that you have. Okay? Multiply the two numbers across diagonally, divide by the number by itself, and then finish solving. What you got?
Can you still do the cross multiply?
Yeah, you can. You'll have to make sure that if you do 6, 4x minus 5 equals, what's 3 times negative 26? Have that one on there.
3.
Negative 78.
That you distribute the 6. Okay. So you can do it that way as well. All right, so your IXL, they're going to ask you to tell if two ratios form a proportion. So what you're going to do is you're going to set them equal and cross multiply. So what's 5 times 6? And then this way, what's 3 times 10? That's equal, it does. What about here? What's 4 times 6? And what's 2 times 8? So does that one form a proportion? No, that doesn't. That's all you have to do. Cross multiply. And if they're equal, it is a proportion. If they're not equal, it's not a proportion. That's the first part. I have one of these. We're on page 7 of 9. Okay, so Monique randomly surveyed 30 students from her class and found that 18 had a dog or a cat for a pet, and there are 870 students in Monique's school. Predicted the total number of students with a dog or a cat. So out of 30, how many had a dog or a cat?
18.
But there are 870, and we want to know how many in the whole school would have it. So this is dog, cat, and this is total. Make sure you set it up the same way every time. So what's your answer going to be on this one? We're going to multiply 18 times 870, and then we'll divide by the 30. Anybody get the answer on that one? Say that again. All right, last one. She randomly surveyed 50 students and found that 20 had a part-time job. There are 810 students in her class. Predict the total number with a part-time job. What's my first fraction going to be? 20 over 50, yep, equals what over what?
X over 8.
Yeah. So what two numbers are we going to multiply together?
18 and 20.
Yep. And then what are we going to divide by? 50, yep. And what do we get? Our answer for that one is 72? That should not be 72.
Oh yeah.
324?
180.
Okay. I'm like, yeah, that's not 72. That's it, guys. That's what we're doing today. What's the next page? Oh, yeah. I do want to point this out. If you're writing it, okay, there's not just one correct proportion, but pay attention. Pay attention to the way it says to write it. And then, all right, so for this one, guys, this next section, you're going to be given it sides. Okay, so, and like this is triangle ABC, and this will be like DEF. And it's going to be telling you that triangle ABC, let's actually go triangle, not ABC, but let's go, hey, listen. Hey, guys, shh. Triangle DEF is similar to triangle ABC. Just like our congruency statements, they have to tell you the right order. And then they're going to give you side measures. So this one might be 5. This is 20. And then this one is going to be 15. This one's a 1. This is 4. And this is 3. And it's going to ask you for the similarity, the ratio of the sides of DEF to ABC. So match up the sides. So this DE matches up with AB. Hey, listen, pay attention to the order. Because if you write them backwards, it's wrong. And it always has to be reduced. So DEF is 1. And then ABC is 5. So that would be the ratio, 1/5. Make sure it's reduced, because if that were like 5 over 10, you have to make it a half. You can't leave it as 5 over 10 because it reduces.
You don't have to worry about the other numbers?
Other numbers will always work as well. So this one is 4 over 20. 4 divided by 20 reduces to 1/5. They will always reduce to the same thing. 3 over 15 reduces to 1/5. It will always be the same, no matter which side you pick, as long as the sides match up. If the sides don't match up, you've picked the wrong ones. But they match, like DE goes with AB. Hey guys, are you listening? EF matches with AB. And then last but not least, DF matches with AC. Okay, the order is told to you in the similarity statement. You have 2 IXLs to do.